Scotty V Podcast, turn it up loud. Every nerdy deep dive feels like one more round, one more tier list, one more wild, what if twist. Press record, hit that play. We could talk like this all day. Scotty V Podcast, superhero talk. Hit play once now, you can't log off. Hey, from the MCU to the DCU stars, we're saving hot takes, not just worlds from afar. Scotty V Podcast, turn it up loud. Every nerdy deep dive feels like a crowd. Scotty V Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 27 of the Scotty V Podcast and part 4 of my video to the road to Doomsday. This week we're going to be talking about the final couple of X-Men movies. So we're going to be talking about Logan, Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool 2 and Deadpool 1. I kind of said that backwards, but just of it, we're going to be talking about the last few of it. I'm not going to include New Mutants because I've never seen it and I heard it's pretty trash, so we're not even going to include that. So we're going to go Logan, Deadpool, Deadpool 2, and Deadpool Wolverine. So this is going to be a long one. Make sure you grab a bag of popcorn or a bag of chips, whatever your favorite snack is, because it's going to be a long one. So I hope you guys enjoy. And then my next part will be the Spider-Man franchise with Tobey Maguire. Hope you enjoy. Alright, let's talk about probably one of the best comic book movies ever to be made. Logan. Holy crap, this movie was great from beginning to end. The action scenes were incredible. The story made sense, sort of taken from the old man Logan. Let's just talk about a few things here and there. The opening sequence right here. We've got to talk about that. He's sleeping. He could tell that he's sick. It's all because of all the adamantium poisoning in his body. So Days of Future Past kind of retconned everything and like fixed everything and got rid of certain movies. And Logan was part of that new timeline. And there was a bunch of gangsters in Mexico. And I think he was in Mexico. And he's like a limo driver, like sort of like an Uber, just with a limo. And some guys are just ripping off the chrome off the car, off his limo. And Wolverine's like, come on, guys, what are you doing? And you can tell he's weak and tired and he's sick. He ends up fighting with the gang. And you just see Wolverine takes his claws out. He's like, oh, that's it, bub. He takes his claws out, but his claws are slowly coming out and it's got stuck. I'm like, I've never seen that before. I've never seen Wolverine's claws get stuck, not come out fully. And then he just whoever he can, he just destroys everybody. Arms are flying off, heads are flying off. There was one part the claws went through the guy's skull, just comes right out the other end. I was like, oh my goodness, what a Hugh Jackman! You gotta love it. And then he just wipes out the whole gang, and maybe a few gang members escape at the end of it, but it was pretty funny. Wolverine's like, you damn gang members. It was pretty funny. So basically, it's the year 2029. All the X-Men are dead, and we actually get a couple of glimpses of what actually happened to the X-Men, but never the full story. We hear it on the radio, like the certain things in movies like that. Like, okay, I want to know what happened to the X-Men. How did they die? And there's people on the radio or on the TV explaining it, and then it cuts off. I get that's a tactic of storytelling, but I hate it with a passion. If I were to ever do something like that, I would never have it cut off. Like, oh yeah, the X-Men and how they died and then just like, why? Why would you cut it off? Anyways, he has to protect Xavier. He's taking care of him. Calaman is in it as well. They're hiding in a bunker, and he just has like severe Alzheimer's, and every time he has like a brain fart, so to speak, that's the nicest way I could put it, a brain attack or whatever, everybody goes into a halt. And we see a glimpse of that when he actually goes back to see him to give him his medicine. He has one of his attacks, and Wolverine is the only one who can actually like overcome it because of his healing ability, even though his healing is actually getting weaker and weaker. So he's doing limo services, Yeah, like an Uber. He gets his pickup request for a lady who's like, I know who you are, Wolverine. I need to take care of this girl, my daughter, or Laura, which is X-23, and I need your help. And Wolverine's like, I'm done with this. I'm not babysitting and blah, blah, blah. So she ended up escaping the lab that she was in, and we get the whole backstory about the company creating other mutants, but kid mutants. That's brutal. Like, you're torturing kids. That's not good. Anyways, Wolverine actually ends up taking them in, but the mother unfortunately dies, and the goal is to take her to Canada. I think it's called Eden, sort of like, the Garden of Eden in the Bible, place of safety and prosperity and all that kind of stuff. But as they're going throughout the country, the evil organization is looking for them, and they come into contact with some of the bad guys, and they end up going to the casino. That casino part where the bad guys actually find Xavier and trying to get X-23 because she's a mistake that escaped, and so they find her at the casino in Vegas, and then Professor X actually has one of his brain farts, and the whole casino just freezes, and Wolverine is the only one that can stop him from killing everybody. Everybody's just frozen, can't breathe. Wolverine has the medicine and just puts it in Xavier, and then the whole thing stops. Everybody's weakened and delusional because of what happened, so they end up escaping. They meet a family because their horses escaped. So they help that family. That family takes them in for dinner, and then that's when all hell breaks loose. The evil company sends out X-24, a clone of the Wolverine, tries to capture X-23. Obviously was unsuccessful, and there was a big fight, and then Xavier ends up being unalived by X-24. It was just a whole great sequence. It just, the family that helped them ended up dying. It was so heartbreaking because they're so loving country people. Xavier died, like I said. They end up burying him, and X-23 and Wolverine just go out, continue on their adventure. Wolverine got to the point so sick that Laura actually took him to a veterinarian, and the veterinarian actually healed him up, and he's like, thanks, dog. And then they continue on their way. And the final forest battle scene, oh my god, Wolverine got this medicine that injects him, that heals him from all diseases. And when he put that thing on, bruh, he went full on Wolverine beast mode, kicking everyone's ass, slicing everybody in half, blood, guts everywhere. The children are helping them, X-23 is helping. It was the whole bloodbath, and it was awesome. One of the best comic book movies ever made. At the end of it, unfortunately, the big battle between Wolverine and X-24, Wolverine ends up dying, and Laura, X-23, says daddy, calls him dad because that's her father, technically, in terms of the genes anyways. Buries him, makes an X, so instead of putting the cross, she puts an X for an X-Men. And what a beautiful way to end Wolverine's story in the Fox universe. Wolverine's obviously coming back for Deadpool and Wolverine, but it was just a beautifully well-ended movie to end the franchise for this iteration of the Wolverine. Action was great, CGI was great for whatever CGI there was. The facial, the designs, and everything was great. Story was great, it made sense. Wolverine is on his last couple of days. Xavier's dead, she's the new Wolverine, and he fulfilled his legacy because now he knows what love feels like after holding her hand. So yeah, anyways, great film. I loved Wolverine. I can't wait to see him in Deadpool and Wolverine. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, follow, repost, retweet wherever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Be good. Alright, so this week we're going to be talking about Deadpool. So, if you remember a while ago, some leaked test footage for Deadpool was released. And till this day, we still don't know who leaked it. But I think we all kind of figured that it was Ryan Reynolds and his team. Because Fox at the time didn't want to release this film. They're like, oh, Deadpool is too R-rated. There's a lot of blood and gore, a lot of swearing, a lot of explosive content, and we want to go for the kids. And I get the perspective of Fox, but at the same time, the people that watched your X-Men movies back in the early 2000s are now full-on adults, and we want to watch Deadpool. We want to see some blood and guts going everywhere. So I'm pretty sure, I hope, if Ryan Reynolds, if you watch this video and if you can confirm you guys did it or kind of hint at it, even though you've done it already, but Ryan Reynolds, come on, a fellow Canadian here, and Deadpool is a Canadian, so you gotta love it. My two favorite X-Men, or mutants I should say, are both Canadians, Deadpool and Wolverine, in which I'm happy that they're getting a film together because we needed that. But anyways, the fan reception of the leaked footage was really well done, and obviously the bridge fight scene was from that leaked footage, and it just a copy and paste, and they just filmed it for live action. But other than that, this film was like a hit at the time in 2016. So the height of the MCU, I don't think Civil War had even come out yet, because I think this came out in February. So if people don't know who Deadpool is, Wade Wilson is a mercenary, so he just contracted to kill people. He got his introduction in X-Men Origins Wolverine, one of the worst Wolverine movies to this day. Later on, he just finds out he has cancer because he actually met the love of his life, Vanessa. So when he does find out cancer, everything gets to a halt. He needs to go find a cure somewhere, but at the time, when he's looking for the cure, he didn't have his X-Gene yet, so they didn't give him the abilities that he has now with regeneration and not dying from his cancer. So he meets a man named Francis and his friend, and this guy is like, okay, no, we're gonna help you find a cure, whatever. Puts him through trials and tribulations like you wouldn't believe. Some gooey pit and like shock and punch, like I don't know, it was some weird ass torture shit that you see in medieval times. And all that ended up causing him to, all that stress and anxiety ended up unlocking his X-Gene, causing his face to deform and having him regenerability assets. Like you can cut off his arm, his leg, he'll grow back. And that was pretty cool, that just to see that. The whole sequence when the place just blew up and you could see things, body parts flying everywhere. Ryan Reynolds, man, I can't see, thank God he did Deadpool, because the Green Lantern was the biggest pile of dog shit I've ever seen. So I'm glad we got Deadpool. The action was phenomenal. We also get introduced to Colossus, which he was in the X-Men franchise, but really he was like American. Like, I don't know how to describe it, because Colossus is Russian, so they kind of just Americanized him in the X-Men films, and they kind of side charactered him, but whatever. So we got Colossus, and we also got Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Budget reasons, so we couldn't get no other X-Men, so we had to get that, and I think I didn't like her at all. Like, could have been you got a whole list of X-Men, and a whole list of characters. With Negasonic Teenage Warhead. So stupid. But anyways, so the point of the film, he got cancer, he got his powers. Francis is the one that did it. He has to goes on a chase to find Francis, end up finding him and killing him. And the whole final battle sequence was pretty awesome. He spelled out Francis' name with all the dead bodies that he unalived, which was pretty hilarious. And Ryan Reynolds' jokes in this film actually landed well. Miller was in it too, as I think it's Weasel. Is it Weasel or something? I don't remember. Stupid character. I'm glad he didn't come back for Deadpool 3, and plus all the controversy that was going on with him, but whatever. Anyways, there's a whole lot of Marvel MCU references, especially with that weird helicarrier looking thing. Deadpool's comedy is hilarious. Like I said, I keep repeating myself. The fight choreography was great. Just moments. There was a moment in the film where he actually is ready to finish Francis, and Colossus is like, "No, wait, be a hero. Heroes don't do that. We save, and everyone deserves a second chance." And Deadpool just like, all you hear is the gun, pa, and then Colossus just throws up everywhere. I'm like, oh my god, that was hilarious. Deadpool gives no shit. Just goes right for the kill. And the fourth wall break, you can't go wrong with that. At the end, Vanessa finds out Wade is Deadpool, takes the mask off. and there's a picture of Hugh Jackman stapled on his face. I'm like, holy crap, that must hurt like hell. Obviously, his face is deformed because the healing ability actually is crushing the cancer. I think is pulling it out or whatever. He was one ugly ass looking dude. But yeah, overall, I really liked the first Deadpool movie. I'll talk about Deadpool 2 next time. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, fantastic. Losses introduced, being done right. It was a smaller film, fun. I loved it. The whole bridge sequence. I think it was filmed in Vancouver, Canada. Shout out to Canada. You know, still Canadian over here. But I'm not from Vancouver. I'm from the big Toronto. Yeah. Anyways, overall, like this film. I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to see Deadpool and Wolverine because that's going to be so sick. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Be good. When I'm done with the Deadpool franchise, which I'm only going to do Deadpool and Wolverine when I do watch it and when it comes out on the Friday, July 26th. I'll do a review for that. But for the time being, Deadpool 2 will be the last one. And then I'm going to move on to the Wolverine franchise. And then I'm done with the X-Men movie franchise, watching, rewatch, review, whatever. But it was fun. I love doing these, and thank you so much for the support. Spread this video around, spread my channel. I really appreciate it. Trying to do something here. I've been doing this for a long time, so I really appreciate everybody who supported me throughout the years, who still support me now, and obviously everybody. People who don't watch, people watch. People who don't care. I thank everybody. See you soon. Alright, let's talk about Deadpool 2. So, obviously, this is the second movie in the Deadpool franchise because the first one was such a hit. Fox is like, you know what, guys? Let's greenlight an movie 2. I was going to say episode 2 like I was talking about Star Wars. Oh, my God. Anyways, we got Deadpool 2, obviously the sequel to the first Deadpool movie. I can't even speak today. We got the introduction of Cable, Domino, and a whole bunch of different characters, which was like, okay. So, Deadpool is gonna join the X-Men, and when he joins the X-Men, he has to go on a mission to save a kid called Russell because he's on a rampage and he's gonna go kill everybody, and he's a big oversized kid with powers of basically annihilating everybody. So Cable comes from the future, Nathan Summers, so the son of Jean Grey and Scott Summers. He comes from the future because all his family is dead because of Russell. Russell in the future actually destroys everything in the world, and he went back in time to stop Russell. And yeah, not really good. But in the beginning of the film, this movie kills me sometimes. The beginning of film, I think Deadpool was like in Japan or some sort of place in China. That whole opening sequence was just amazing, like slow-mo and killing and guns, and you see the guy running away because I think he was a mafia guy, and it was just great. That whole opening sequence is what got me hooked. And the intro with Celine Dion, Ashes. Ashes are beauty out of that. That was great. Like, I love Celine Dion is such an icon in the music industry, and how Ryan Reynolds agreed for her to do Deadpool, no idea. Hey, a whole bunch of great Canadian singers: Celine Dion, Nelly Furtado, and the big one, Nickelback. You gotta, Nickelback, man. I don't think Nickelback is gonna have anything to do with Deadpool, but it'll be pretty cool. So yeah, he joins the X-Men, and he ends up killing people because they were beating up the kid, and it was just a kid. It was like a teenager, but that teenager has a pouty mouth. Like he swears. It's an R-rated movie, but children that age shouldn't be swearing that much. But Deadpool ends up saving the kid, killing the guards and all that, and Deadpool gets thrown into prison with the kid, and he's slowly dying because the power dampener is on his neck, so the cancer is actually starting to kill him, and it's killing him rapidly. His healing ability is actually the one thing that's saving him. So then a whole prison break fights out, taking dabs at DC, making fun of Cable, calling Cable Thanos because it's the same actor. Disney let Ryan Reynolds get away with a lot of jokes. Obviously, they were owned by Fox at the time, and obviously Disney had just bought or just buying them out, which was pretty cool. Which we talked about on my channel on YouTube back 6-7 years ago. So yeah. Anyways, the whole prison break happens. We get Juggernaut, who was introduced in which Juggernaut was actually done like he was character accurate to the comics, comic accurate. I can't even speak. And they're transporting him out of the city, and then Deadpool has to put a team together, creates the X-Force, and pretty much the whole team just gets wiped out, just traveling to where Juggernaut was. And I think it was ACDC, I think, Thunder, Thunder, Thunder. It was pretty cool. Domino, one lucky son of a gun. She just has luck. And Deadpool's like, that's not a superpower. She's like, yeah, it is. I'm lucky. And yeah, she lucky, all right. So, Juggernaut, they stop the train, or not the train, the transport truck. Juggernaut comes out, and Deadpool's like, is so mesmerized. Like, oh, it's Juggernaut. And he starts listing off comics, store comics, this comic, that comic. And then Juggernaut just picks up Deadpool, just rips him in half, and you see guts everywhere. And he's like, oh my, I just got ripped by the Juggernaut. But yeah, that was pretty funny. Go on, I just needed to laugh. Sorry, I just need to laugh. Give me a minute. Alright, I'm done laughing. So he gets ripped into half. And then Deadpool, I'm just like paraphrasing. I'm sorry, that was just too funny. I just saw that scene playing in my head. And I can't really show it here because TikTok is like really anal about about showing blood and guts. So he teams up with Cable and Domino and all those to go find Russell, because Russell and the Juggernaut actually are working together to kill the leader of the orphanage, who actually is the one that gives him trouble, tortures him, and he's like, you know what, if Russell kills the orphanage leader, or warden, he's gonna go on to the future and destroy everything in the future. And that's what Cable wants, to kill Russell. But Deadpool is like, hell no, that's not happening. But yeah, and also at the beginning of the movie, Vanessa dies because the person he tried to kill in the beginning of the movie kills her, and then that leads into other thing. That's part of the end of the movie. So yeah, Deadpool saves the kid. Cable's like, you know what, fine, you're not really that much of a douchebag. And then the movie ends. So they go back and forth, back in time, and reverse some stuff, because Cable has some time thingy-majiggy, but whatever. And this whole fight scene with Juggernaut and Colossus was pretty funny. You can't go wrong with that. Big CGI battle. It's like, let's go, big CGI battle. I'm like, I don't know, Deadpool's so blunt. He's like, I don't know, just go for it. I actually enjoyed Deadpool 2 better than Deadpool 1, to be honest. So they saved the day, whatever. Russell saved, and Cable is fine, and everybody's alright. Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her friend actually fixed the time, sort of like the thing from the TVA where you can go in time, anywhere in time. Deadpool does that. Deadpool just goes back in time and just fixes history, keeps Vanessa alive, makes sure she's actually saved, and then goes back to X-Men Origins Wolverine and kills the old Deadpool and just shoots him. Pa 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 pa. And he's like, when your friend Wade Wilson comes for you, he's gonna ask you to come back one day. You say yes. And Wolverine's like, huh? Yeah. But obviously that was just cut footage from Origins. Yeah, fun. I really enjoyed the action on this. Now Deadpool 3 is going to be in the MCU now. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I don't know if Cable's in it. They're saying he is, but I don't think he is. But yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Be good. And yeah. Alright, it's been 2 days, so I let everybody get a chance to see Deadpool and Wolverine. So I'm going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine now. Before I get started, make sure you like, comment if you've seen it, and add this video to your favorites. This video will contain spoilers major spoilers. So if you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, I suggest you like this video, add this to your favorites, and then come back later. So with the spoiler warning out of the way, I'm going to give you my general thoughts of Deadpool and Wolverine. And yeah, holy crap, I love this movie from beginning to end. I haven't been so excited for a MCU movie since Spider-Man No Way Home. And boy, Wolverine and Deadpool actually delivered. The comedy, the jokes that Ryan Reynolds laid was fantastic. Wolverine was just a brutal animal, which I totally love. The action was just spectacular. I couldn't be more happy with what I saw on screen. Ryan Reynolds, great as Deadpool, Wade Wilson, and Hugh Jackman. Money talks, man, and him coming back, I think, saved this movie. Now let's talk about that opening scene when Deadpool actually opened up Wolverine's grave from Logan, and they actually made a joke about this 2 years ago. We're not gonna touch Logan. Logan is a legacy thing, and Logan just gonna be where he was. And then the opening scene of Deadpool and Wolverine, was Deadpool digging up Logan's grave just to find an adamantium skull, and Deadpool's like, no, damn it. And then he's just talking to the skull. Like, yeah, mate. It's just making fun of Hugh Jackman because of his accent and all that kind of stuff. The TVA shows up and says, hey, Wade, you're under arrest. You need to come with us. And Deadpool's like, there's 206 bones in the human body. 107 with, I think he said, watching Gossip Girls or something, because his wife was in Gossip Girls. And then just the NSYNC song Bye Bye Bye. Oh my gosh, that whole fight sequence and that dance number was like spectacular. My mouth dropped when I was watching that, and I had a big smile on my face because I do like NSYNC, because I'm a 90s kid. And Deadpool was just using every single parts of the bone, of the adamantium bones, and just killing them one by one. And it was awesome. A lot of cultural references. And then one of the TVA agents is like, you're the worst thing to come out of Canada. And Deadpool just throws a sword, bounces off the ground, goes right in his mouth. And Deadpool actually pulled a Will Smith. Get my country out of your effing mouth. I just died. It was pretty funny. And then Deadpool kind of explains how we got to that situation. He actually had an interview with Happy Hogan, because he actually jumped to the main MCU timeline and just was having an interview with Happy Hogan. Happy Hogan's like, the Avengers don't need you right now, but we'll keep an eye on you. And this was March 14th, 2018. So this was way before the events of Infinity War. Goes back to being a car salesman. That didn't work out. He has a birthday party. And then the TVA shows up, and then he meets Paradox, and Paradox is like, we know you, we want you to be a greater hero amongst heroes. And then he shows the Avengers and Captain America, and then he's like, yeah, sign me up. But then Deadpool is just like, I want to be part of everything and all that kind of stuff. And then Proxima actually explains to him that his universe is dying because his anchor being died, and the anchor being of that universe was Wolverine. And Deadpool's like, Wolverine, why? And then he had to go find Wolverine, and he went through a whole bunch of stages and realities to find Wolverine. He found a comic accurate Wolverine that was pretty funny. He went into Wolverine fighting the Hulk, like he just was gonna start fighting the Hulk. You see the Hulk's reflection into from the claws. It looked like this scene from Ragnarok, the way he was roaring. And then he ended up meeting Henry Cavill's Logan, which was awesome. I loved every moment of that. It was great. But let's talk about the cameos now. So they end up going to the Void, and then Wolverine and Deadpool have their big fight. And then the first cameo we get was actually Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. Not the same Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four movies, but a variant of them. And Deadpool just thought it was Captain America, which was pretty funny. And then Cassandra Nova's goons show up. Sabretooth and Wolverine have their fight, but their fight just lasted 2 seconds because Wolverine just cut his head off, which was pretty funny. They go to see Cassandra Nova. They ended up escaping. Johnny Storm dies. And Deadpool and Wolverine trying to go find the other heroes. And they actually have a big fight trying to find them, and they ended up sleeping in the car. That's where they meet Elektra, Jennifer Garner, Wesley Snipes. Like, I know they hated each other, but I didn't think he was actually going to show up. Then we got Channing Tatum's Gambit, which he was rumored to be Gambit for a long time, but never actually got his movie. But he finally got his movie. And and then Daphne Keen's X-23. And boy, then they ended up going to Cassandra's base and trying to destroy it. The heroes actually ended up killing all the bad guys. And Cassandra Nova's like, you know what? After she was almost dead and Wolverine saved her, and Wolverine's like, Charles won't let me do it. But yada, yada, yada. Cassandra Nova had a sling ring with 2 Infinity Stones on it. Let him go. They ended up going back to their reality. And then the nice pool had these gold pistols, and Deadpool actually really wanted them, and he actually got it. And then that whole sequence that we see in the trailer with Madonna's Like a Prayer. Wolverine put on his mask. Oh my goodness. It was one of the best things I've seen. And there's the Deadpool and Wolverine versus the Deadpool Corp. That was so awesome. And then Peter shows up, and then whatever. Cassandra Nova ends up going to their timeline to get like this machine that like erases all of time. And Proximus was just like, you know what, the only way to stop it if you get the matter and antimatter colliding with each other, but that will kill you. Obviously, that's not the case. And Deadpool thinks he's Marvel Jesus, which no one can compare to Jesus. They actually ended up saving the day. Wolverine and Deadpool saved the day. And Proximus actually got sent away. And he's like, Deadpool's like, you know, he is risen. And it was just funny. There was a lot of jokes that was funny. The story actually made sense because it was a multiverse film. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, man, they're a dynamic duo, man. Now what I want to see is these two with Spider-Man. If they can somehow pull Spider-Man and Deadpool and Wolverine, it'll be pretty awesome to see. CGI for the most part actually held up. There's some wonky parts here and there, especially that part where Cassandra was like messing with people's brains, like her finger was going through, and Deadpool's like, it was pretty funny. There was a post-credit scene, it was just a gag, nothing really special there. But yeah, like the cameos, I was very happy with the cameos. Happy Hogan, Jennifer Garner, like I was surprised to see her. Elektra, Channing Tatum's Gambit looked actually very good, man. What could have been? But yeah, with all the special cameos that ended up showing up in this film, I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see those two again. And Deadpool actually said Disney's gonna make him do it till he's 90, so that was pretty awesome. Anyways, I love Deadpool. If I were to give it a score, I'll give it 8 out of 10. There's certain things that didn't land, but yeah. Thank you so much for those who stick to the end to watch it. This concludes the X-Men reviews for Road to Doomsday. Next week we're going to be starting with the Spider-Man Sam Raimi trilogy. I might just drop them one by one, so I might do Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll move on to other stuff, and then trailer reactions and a whole bunch of other stuff that dropped throughout the week. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Even if you have a new topic idea for me to talk about, it could be anything. It could be TV, it could be movies, it could be music videos, it could be anything, politics, whatever. You just have to comment down below what I should talk about, and then we'll go from there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe wherever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Be good.